What's up, family? Gotta excuse where we're at right now. Literally, on my way back to Fayetteville. Flight got canceled. Flight got canceled. That's literally what it is. I'm supposed to be on my way home, uh, working on a documentary. Got my man Chris with me. So gracious to take me to go get my rental car. Not take me to get it, but take me to take it back. These jokers literally tried to charge me $500 to extend for 2 days. They tripped, couldn't do it. But gracefully, my man looked out for me. You already know what it is. Literally, we about to dive into this thing. Uh, if you haven't already, click like, go ahead and share. Everybody share it right now. Matter of fact, as soon as I finish telling y'all, I'm going to share it on all the pages to include my own. Thank you to everybody that has been sharing and joining in the conversation. Appreciate all the feedback. We like to talk to y'all while y'all actually up here. So you know what I'm saying. When you're up here, make sure you drop some comments or whatnot. We'll take some time to respond to everybody. Open and honest dialogue between men on relationship from our perspective. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing going. D, what? I know you gave us a topic yesterday, but for those that were not here with us yesterday, go ahead and give us a topic.
Topic of the day is how important is it for your significant other to get along with your family?
Alrighty. I'm not going for it first today. I'm saying now I'm going last. I'm going last. I'm gonna let y'all tackle this thing right here. And who we gonna have is gonna go ahead and jump on and go first. Don't make me call you out.
I'll go first. For me, it is of the utmost importance. For one, just basically because, especially in the sense of marriage, we are one. So my family is your family is my family. So just like I get along with my family, I expect my significant other to get along with my family. If there's any issues with any of my family members, there's their responsibility to establish a good relationship. Because at the end of the day, that's your family. I'll just leave it at that.
Uh, just gonna slam us like that and leave it right there, huh? Too easy. Too easy. Trail, what's your thoughts, man?
Well, I'm gonna be kind of in and out or back and forth on this one. I mean, to me, it is. I would like that to be an important part of it. For where how things are coming along with family. You would hope that your spouse or your significant other would get along with your family. But I'm gonna be honest with I was raised that way, but I wasn't raised that way. For me, my mother told me, out of the gate, um, it's okay, but whenever I would bring somebody home, my mother, for approval or anything like that, it wasn't really that approval. My mother would tell me, I mean, don't take this wrong, y'all, but my mother would tell me, you love her, I like it. I'm not the one that's got to lay in the bed with her. If something goes down, all I can do is just give you some advice and keep it moving. And that's how it was. My mother was not one, that either interfered in my relationships, or she would just tell you, you love her, she's good to you, that's all that matters to me. you know as far as anything else, again, I would love to be able to get along or be able to be involved with, my spouse's family or however. But again, even in that situation, you're not going to always be in agreement with, your spouse's family. They might not like you, you know, and it comes down to the point to where you have to say, you know what? Again, even with biblical, it says one should leave his family to, claim to his mother. I mean, leave his mother and father to claim, to be together one with his spouse. So, it's important, I would hope. But again, at the end of the day, it's me and you against the world, baby. What we gonna do? When it come down to the importance of it, it's that's where it's at. If everybody else don't get along, me and you got to get along.
All right. Let's go, Lee.
Come on, hit him, Lee.
Hold on. Somebody just asked me what's the topic. The topic of the day is how important is it for your significant other to get along with your family?
Who was it?
Now, it's a coworker of mine. His name King Tut.
King Tut. Make sure we get on that shout out when they ask that question. What up, King Tut?
What up, King Tut?
All right, Lee.
I'm gonna have to say no. It does not matter. I mean, it's a bonus. It's a plus. The more people you got supporting your marriage, the better. But you got to leave and cleave. So, what happens if you get with a girl and y'all vibing, y'all got good connection, and y'all building something special, and here come your parents or your in-laws or whatever the case may be, and they don't like you. What if they don't like you because they already have a glass half empty kind of mentality? Do I look at my girl and say, well, we done hit the fork in the road now, so take it easy? No. If you like her, if she like you, if y'all love each other and y'all building something together or y'all want to build something together, then y'all go and do it. Your time underneath that covering is over. And it's one of those types of things where, look, mama, look, daddy, this is who I want to be with. I'd like you to roll with it, but if you don't roll with it, you do understand that's going to change the dynamic of our relationship, because I'm pretty serious about what we're doing over here. And 80% of, I'll probably say, well, not probably, but 80% of the children that are born in the melanated community are coming into a single family situation anyway. And especially if in a lot of dynamics you have, it's just the mother, right? A lot of times the mom is trying to be the father. She can't be the father, but she's trying to be both parents. And I can imagine it being a little difficult for her to let go of that child. She, even though she might understand the concepts biblically, but the fact of the matter, and you and I and all of us know this, everybody don't like to take everything from the Bible. If they read the Bible or the Quran, everybody don't like to take everything from it and say that's what it is and that's what I got to get in line with. We live in the ATM world where people be like, oh, I like this right here. This works for me. But then there's certain subjects, nah, I can't get down with that. It's not politically correct for them to say that, but that's how they conduct and carry themselves. So no, I don't think it's important at all for your parents or your family members to support your relationship, as long as what y'all got going on is good, as long as y'all got each other's back or whatever the case may be. That's the most important thing. And I'm so proud of the way I answered that, because I kept it real neutral right there, fella.
All right, it's on me. I say, hell yes, it matters. Yes. I'll put it to you like this. I don't care about my dad's side of the family. If you get along with them, if you see them like that. My mama's side, oh no, 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 no. If you don't get along with that side, we got a problem. Case in point, I was dating this female a few years back. When the family initially met them, they was cool with them. If anybody know my mama or that side of, or you know, the intermediate side of that family, we just like to laugh and joke, have a good time. They met her, she fit right in up until when she got pregnant by somebody else and had a baby by somebody else. But during the pregnancy, before that, they knew who the baby belonged to. It was a wrap after that. They ain't want no parts of it, no dealings. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. But outside of that, for me personally, as somebody that is, I'm pretty close to my mama's side of the family. If you don't get along with them, ain't too much we can do. And I only say that to say because, like with my mama, she don't bother anybody. It's kind of like what Ron was speaking of, where KingNaib was saying about his wife yesterday. She don't bother anybody. So if you can't laugh and joke and get along with that side, that's a red flag for me. And I do not want to be at no family gatherings, and it is awkward all the time. No. No.
All righty. So, I can. Were you done?
Yeah.
Making sure. Okay. So I can kind of see both sides of the spectrum, right? And there's a narrative that has been lost over the years, right? And I think the permission, right? Having to go to the father or whatnot and request wife's hand in marriage, things of that particular nature. Right? That's something that doesn't happen too often nowadays. It doesn't happen. Uh, Sometimes it's just not, you know what I'm saying, within people to do that. Or sometimes the father's absent. Just never know. But my thing is this. Uh, if you accepted my proposal to, you know what I'm saying, give your daughter over to me, I'm not about to spend the rest of my life trying to prove myself to you. And vice versa. I take you over to meet my side of the family, things of that particular nature or whatnot. They accept you. No issues, no problems. She shouldn't have to spend the rest of her life trying to gain approval or maintain approval from them. It's for me it's just madness. Now it doesn't make things so much better if everybody get along. Yes, it does. But the reality of it is, I don't even get along with everybody in my family. So why should I expect you to get along with everybody in my family? End of the day,
I can respect that, boy.
at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? As long as everybody is respectful and we can all get together and have a good time, that's cool. My situation is funny. Like, I've met just about all of the wifey's family, you know, but she hasn't met all of my family, you know. But the reality is, I haven't met all of my family, So that's just what it is. And the interesting thing is, this week coming up, this will be the first time we've been married almost 12 years now. This will be the first time that my family and her family are literally going to be to come together. Our mothers have not even met. They talked on the phone and everything else, but they have not physically met face to face. They haven't, you know. But we also come from two different backgrounds, right? My wife's family is very, very, very close knit. Big family, very, very, very close knit. My family is not as close knit as her family is. So for me, it's yeah, it's important. It's important, but it's not a determining factor. But for her, it might be something completely different because of how close knit and how tight her family is. But I don't have any issues. You know, I say with her immediate uncles, brothers, sisters, things that particular nature. There's been a couple of cousins. Well, it ain't no couple. One, one that so I didn't quite get along with. But everybody else, what I'm saying, it's cool. It was all love. It was all love, and low key, when we was living out there, when we was living in Chicago, I was riding to work every morning with her two brothers, man, and we built the bond that I kind of miss. I miss now. Miss being able to talk to them jokers and politics and things of that particular nature. I'm proud of them jokers because a lot of stuff that we was talking about back then, they actually doing right now. So you know, I can, like I said, I can see it from both sides. See it from both sides. It's not one of the things where it should be a determining factor for any for any. Because you never know. Mama, daddy might, mama might not want you to be with nobody, so she won't like nobody as long as she know that you don't like that she don't like that she ain't gonna be with her. You mess around and be alone. Trust me, seen I've seen my daughter's mom. So does mom or not they get along with her parents at all. Try, try. But I'm saying that I'm not kissing nobody at all. Boy, once once I display myself to you, well now I'm always gonna be respectful of things that particular nature, but I'm not kissing nobody. It's simple as that. Simple as that. At the end of the day, I'm a man, just like you a man. She's a woman, same way you're a woman. Or not believe in respecting my elders, so forth and so on. But when you walk into my house, that's exactly what it is. It's my house. Same respect that I would give you in yours aspect. The exact same thing in return. It's as simple as that. Can't that. Yeah,
Hey,
y'all.
I ain't gonna lie, it's getting kind of hard to hear you.
So it get kind of hard to hear me. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah. Yes.
Can everybody hear me? I can hear you. I know you can hear me. You're right beside me. But I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? There has to be a mutual respect. There has to be a mutual respect because you have instances, right, where your people could be dead wrong. Could be dead wrong. You know, and you might not always be there, you know what I'm saying, to intervene in things of that particular nature. So it has to be that mutual respect. Like I said, my house is my house. My house is my house. You know, I give you an example. I give you an example. I said the wife is family very, very, very close, right? And when we was living in Chicago, I don't have an issue with anybody coming to stay with us. If you know me, you already know what it is. You need to lay up, or if you're trying to reposition yourself, come stay with me. I ain't asking for nothing, don't want nothing from you, or not. My thing is, I need to know. Don't just start inviting people
Hey, I'm
into my
looking at your
dog.
phone breaking up again.
This ain't my phone, it's a computer. Let me see what's going on. I'm here.
All right,
We
I tell
live in
you
the
what.
era we back
While
roads.
you get that situated, this brings up another topic in the back of my mind. So, what would be some deal breakers for y'all in a relationship or marriage that you would absolutely not put up with?
Can you hear me? Can y'all
Yeah.
hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Y'all can hear deal breakers. You know, I think deal breakers, right, evolve over time. They evolve over time. Because what was a deal breaker for me, doggone 10, 15 years ago, might not necessarily be a deal breaker now. You know, right now is our ability to grow together. Our ability to grow together. You have to be able to evolve with me, literally. And following is a big thing for me. If, if you're so independent that you don't know how to doggone be interdependent, then it's just not gonna work. It's not gonna work whatsoever. I'm not asking for anybody to doggone. This ain't coming to a bird. I'm not gonna ask you to doggone bark like a dog and doggone hop on one foot leg. This ain't that. All I'm saying is that if I take out the time to explain to you what it is that we're moving towards, if you don't fully understand it, trust me enough to know that I got the best interests of our doggone family always at the forefront of my mind. Can't do that, then for me, well, I don't know what to say. I really don't know
All
what to
right.
say.
I can't say that. Let me try to answer this too, D, if I may. With my wife, she's done so much to earn my, she's done so much to earn for me. There's just certain things that I just know that she's not capable of doing. So I guess we're all capable of doing something, but it's just the loyalty, the respect that she has given me over the years. It moves the goalpost in terms of what she can do. In the beginning, if she met my mom or something like that, and they were real catty with each other and disrespectful or whatever the case may be, I'm taking mama's side. And I'm gonna be like, yo, you gotta roll. You gotta roll. But I would expect by a certain point, it would be agree to disagree, be cordial in each other's presence. You don't have to be buddy-buddy, but let's be cordial. And if that's the case, obviously there are some deal breakers and stuff like that that can happen. It really just depends on you. Some people, the deal breaker may be, look, if you cheat on me, it's over. The Messiah in the Bible, he challenges you to go beyond that. That might be something that you may be able to do, and that might be something that you may not be able to do. But he is challenging you to go above and beyond that, because if you think about how disrespectful and disobedient we are as a people, as a community, or whatever the case may be, we should have been thrown to the wolves. And I don't care what you believe in, because from an organizational standpoint, as a people, we, and I mean this in the most respectful way, we are the bottom of the totem pole in terms of organization. We don't like to organize with each other. We will get smacked in the face and turn the other cheek when somebody of a different ethnicity do something to us, but we don't give each other, from like a business standpoint, we don't give each other time. Y'all ever heard the saying like, see, that's why I don't buy from black people or something like that. And that's we have a low tolerance. We have a low tolerance for each other, but we have a high tolerance for people that oppress us. And so, I didn't mean to get too much off topic there, but I hope you kind of understand where I'm coming from with that.
I do.
There's one thing that you said, it's a pet peeve of mine. I hate it to the core of me. That statement, agree to disagree, there's a reason why I hate that statement, because it's still not an agreement, it's a disagreement. I, on the other end, would say if there's a disagreement, we'll work towards fixing that, because we have to agree. Because there's two parts to agreement, that's acceptance and following, which is strong for me when it comes to relationships, because you have to first accept something. That shows me that you agree, because you're taking it on. Following, that shows that you're actually working it. That means that what you've accepted is actually true. But a lot of people use that term a lot, and they just comfortable living in a disagreement instead of working past and beyond that to get to the point of agreement.
I would say that I would say this, right? Majority of the time that we agree or agree to disagree, right? It's because I'm having to put how I feel on the background. It's because the narrative has been painted that I'm not supposed to have no emotions. And if I do have some emotions, feminine emotion is superior to my emotion.
Mm-hmm.
So we already know that you're not going to win no argument with a female. You're just not. So by default, because we don't like to argue any doggone way. We don't. Ladies, I'm telling you, we do not like to argue. So what happens is, put my feelings on the back burner, right? And we're just going to agree to disagree. And hopefully that when it comes back to you're not in a emotional hearing loss situation where your emotions are so high that you can't hear what it is that I'm speaking from my fucking heart. Excuse my language, but I feel some type of way about this. I'm telling you, I feel some type of way about it because I see it. I see it too much. D, I think you just posted a post, shared a post where a dude basically said, "I'm not supposed to be sad." Uh, he rattled off a whole bunch of different emotions. Post went viral. Why do you think that is? He said some of the simplest things, and the post went viral about men. The narrative has been written that we're not supposed to have any emotions. And we do have some emotions, and we express them, Joyce, it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant because your emotions are supposed to be superior to mine. Because the narrative is written that y'all have emotions and we don't. And instead of you taking the time, right? Because we all, again, we all have emotions, right? Men go through emotional hearing loss as well. But most times it's from pride. We talked about this, Lamar. Lamar brought it up. It's from pride. Yeah, it is from pride. That pride gets too doggone big. We can't hear shit of this that y'all doggone say. But on the flip side, exact same thing with y'all. Emotions get too doggone high. You're too close to the situation. Now you can't hear what it is that we're trying to tell you from the doggone heart. The only thing you're hearing is what it is, those emotions that you already have towards the situation. We literally could be telling you exactly what it is that we doggone feel. Said something that took me on the second part of the statement. There's only one form of disagreement that I allow. It's not really a disagreement. It's more of a. It speaks more to the differences in the way that men think against what women think and how we move.
because we know that in a lot of decisions that we have or subject matters that we speak of, a woman can do something a certain way and it'll work. A man can do something a certain way and it'll work. With agreement, this is the biggest thing. None of what you're doing can be a disagreement in the way that it changes the direction and the pace. So any decision that you make which wouldn't be defined, let's take for example the direction and the pace. If what you're doing doesn't change the direction of the pace, it would be like this. I say, this is the goal. We're trying to get here. And I'm like, I want to start off on my left foot. But you don't want to do it that way. You want to start off on your right foot. That's the level of disagreement that is bearable because one, you're not changing the direction. And at the same time, although you start on your right foot, or if you say, I don't want to walk, I want to get on the moped. Don't change the pace. I don't care how you get there. Maintain the direction and the pace. That is the only form of disagreement that's allowable. That whatever you choose to do and how you choose to do it, it does not change the direction or the pace that we're going. So in essence, you may disagree with the way that I do something, but whatever decision you make, don't let it hinder where we're going and the pace we're going to get there. That's it.
All right.
I think for me, it would be the same. Are we going on the same pace? Are we going on the same direction? If we're not moving in the same direction, then that would be probably the deal breaker. Because once you're not moving in the same area or the same direction, then you're as they say, bumping against the wall, bumping your head against the wall, because now every time I want to go forward, you want to go backward, and then there's no way of moving together. And I'll tell you right now, I can basically deal with anything, I've had it done. So it's not, a lot of what I can't deal with. It's just the point of if we're moving together as a family, and if we're, going that way, then that would be how we would want to go. Let's agree to go this way. If we not going this way, tell me why we're not going to go this way. Show me something that would be better to do that or go that way. That would be my only thing that I would say.
I like that because that last part that you just said is reestablishing an agreement.
Okay, so I think we're making it sound way easier than what it really is. We're making it real. Let me explain something. And y'all correct me if I'm wrong at any point. Being a governor, the whole leader has been played out, the whole boss has been played out. Being a governor of our home, right? It is our job to basically take multiple mindsets, right? That's my mindset, my significant other's mindset, our children, right? Our children. I have to know and understand what it is that my wife needs, as well as wants, as well as what her goals are, and ensure that my needs, my wants, as well as my goals, and whatever goals it is that I have set for my kids, right? One, first step is making sure that they align. making sure that they align. And then I have to plot a course to make sure that at the very least, both myself, my significant other, are able to get there and set our kids up to where when they leave our house, they can start paving their own path. This is not an easy thing to do. The reason I say that is because although everything might align, right, your passion or my significant other passion might not be my passion, but I'm still responsible for governing my household and making sure that everyone gets to where they're supposed to. How she runs after her passion might be different from how I run after my passion. But I still have to make sure that everything remains balanced. It's a balance in that. It literally is a balance. And one tilt to the left, one tilt to the right, it will all come crumbling down. All come crumbling down. And you know, we don't get enough. No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. It's not what we do in governing our house is overlooked a lot. It's overlooked a lot. I believe it's overlooked a lot because the flashiness that I believe that a lot of women see, and as far as men so-called being leaders and whatnot, it's the exact same thing when it comes down to being a mother. You're being a mother or whatnot, you physically see how they operate with the kids, cook, clean, go to work, and everything else. But what it is that I'm talking about that we have to do right now, a lot of it is mental, a lot of it is planning. It's completely different. It's not something that's seen on the surface. You don't realize what's going on until you're actually there. Until you're actually there. Which is the reason why I believe that what it is that we actually do, or supposed to be doing, for some of us, is just not appreciated. It's really not. What's appreciated is me getting up in the morning every doggone day, going to work, coming home, and doing whatever it is that I do when I actually get home. And for some reason, they think that that is solely it. It's not. Every day, they get up and go to work. Especially for us, it's like us that's on this panel right now. We get up and go to work. We're thinking about literally the next step so that I ain't got to get up and go to work. We're thinking about, okay, how how can I make some extra ends, some extra funds to make sure that my kids can go to college, so that my kids can start a business if they like to. What type of legacy am I going to leave for my kids? What type of inheritance am I going to leave for my kids?
What you just said right there made me think about a part of the book. It's talking about the finance, and where it was stating that that is always on the man's mind, because that is one of the biggest ones, especially in this world. That is the biggest thing necessary, as far as it plays a major role in a man's ability to provide. But look on the other end. how supportive are you as a woman when it comes to finances to your man? Just think about what women ask for. It's always, it's the majority of the time, it's something that they want. It's not even necessarily need, but they want the man to be a provider, and the finances plays a key role. So how much are you taking away from that man being able to provide for your own personal desires? Are you hindering him from being able to provide, or making it harder for him, or making him have to adjust to get more in order to be able to do what he's supposed to do and appease your desires or wants? That's just a question for me. Because if you want a man to provide, and finances is one of the main things that answer that need and desire, what do you do to make it easier for that man to do that in your supportive role and help you build the man? Are you taking away more, or are you helping him build? Because what are men doing? They're getting things. For one, what it takes to draw a woman to date generally takes money. From dating to the things that they need to be able to get around the date, it all takes money. Granted, most of that stuff a man usually already needs, but some men go far and beyond trying to get a specific thing because that's the thing that's going to draw a woman. When are women going to put their standards in the need category so that man can be the man that she wants him to be?
I was me and a wife was having a conversation early about morning food. And she was explaining to me how she was hurt.
Speak up.
I said she was explaining to me how she was hurt because she felt like I would leave her and the family behind in certain instances, right? And I understood. I understood exactly what it was that she was saying. I understood exactly what she was pushing over to me, right? And what I explained to her was that this right here. There are times that in governing, leading, whatever it is that you actually want to call it, right? That I might explain, or a man might explain something to you, and he already knows what it is that he's explaining to you. You're not going to capture it at that particular moment. But the thing about it is, in that moment, you can't stay right there. Wait for you to understand it. You got to keep moving forward. You got to keep moving forward. That doesn't mean that he's leaving you, leaving the family, or anything of that particular nature. Because what's happening is he's going ahead while you're trying to take it all in, understand, get a full understanding of what it is that he just portrayed as far as where we going, right? He's sitting back and paving the path. He's paving the path. And the example I used was this, right? When I took my family overseas, right? The wife and kids overseas. Before I took my family overseas, I went first. And when I went, right, I made sure that I checked out the areas. I found us a place to stay. I made sure we had transportation. I made sure everything was in order, right? So that when they got there, the same comfort that they had when they was stateside, the same comfort that they had when we got overseas. When we moved and transitioned from Chicago to Colorado, we left the kids in Chicago, and the both of us, right? We went to Colorado. We checked out the area. We looked at the schools and all that other good stuff, right? Got everything prepared. We went back to go get the kids. So it's not intentional. We're doing exactly what it is we're actually supposed to do, which is go and pave the way, prepare the way. So instead of getting cut up by these doggone roots and weeds and trees and everything else, there's a clear path that you can actually see to be able to move through. A clear path. It's right here.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, since nobody asked me what was my deal breaker. I only have like 2. I only got 2. And both of y'all kind of touched on one of them, but I'm going to say that last. The first one is, we're too old for me to keep telling you what's the issue and if you're going to solve it or not. And I call that damage control. I was dealing with a female a few years back, the same one that got pregnant by somebody else. And I used to tell her all the time, you have poor damage control. If I tell you that A is going to piss me off, don't wait until it pisses me off to finally stop doing it. Stop doing it whenever I tell you it's in the beginning stages, and we can go ahead and, kill that in the beginning. She'll wait until there's a full-fledged gas fire, and then she want to be like, oh, my bad, okay, I'm gonna go solve it. No, like, it's too late now. I don't want to deal with it no more. And there's only so much that at this age, I ain't gonna tell you my age, but there's only so much at this age that I can deal with now. Outside of that, my biggest issue is probably the biggest issue on why the divorce rate is so high. I can't deal with somebody who has poor money management. I can't deal with it. I don't care how much money you talking about. If I make X amount of dollars more, I'll be able to get me over the top or whatever. If you don't know how to manage $5 now, what makes you think you know how to manage $100 later, man? No. So it's just one of them things I can't stress it strong enough. Handle your finances, get your finances in order. Because I don't care. I can do bad by myself. And I ain't about to miss no meals. I ain't missing any meals now. I am definitely not about to miss no meals while we together. All because you don't know how to manage your money. Can't deal with it. That's a deal breaker.
I'm too small to miss meals as it is.
Oh, I'm going to eat. You can tell by my face, I'm going to eat.
You know, I would say this. Man, we make this thing too complicated, man. First thing I think you got to do is the first thing I think you got to do is you got to love yourself enough to be able to deal with yourself. There's a lot of people that don't really like themselves as it is. It's like they can't deal with themselves. So how in the hell is somebody else supposed to deal with them too? So the first thing that a person needs to do is actually like themselves. Okay. Then once you like yourself, then you got a chance of somebody else liking your ass. And then when they like your ass, then perhaps, loving you and dealing with you is easy and vice versa, because I'm big on energy. I'm big on the value systems. We can come from 2 different places. I mean, my wife is from St. Thomas. The way she was raised was a lot different than a lot of people were raised. My wife had 2 or 3 nannies in the house. So it's a lot different from where I come from. And King, you know where I come from. I mean, you were right there with me. And so that's a lot different. That's a lot different for us. And so, but the value system, talked about it earlier. Where are we going? What are we trying to do? If I say where I'm trying to go and you don't agree with where I'm trying to go, let's go ahead and get off the bus now. Ain't no need for us to take no voyage. But if we agree with where I'm trying to go, because I mean, I have a clear-cut vision where I'm going. I got a clear-cut vision where I'm going. If you like, yeah, I'm down with that. Like my wife, I believe in that. I believe in that. And you stay with me, it's going to be relatively easy because there's going to be trials and tribulations in every relationship. But how many of those trials and tribulations are self-inflicted? And how many of those trials and tribulations are inflicted on the world? I'd take anything, me against the world, you against the world mentality. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to have some elementary ass issues that are easy to solve, that are like easier to avoid. And because you being difficult and you over there doing what you're trying to do, and I'm over here doing what I'm trying to do, I'm not really interested in that. Because at the end of the day, I work hard to get my value to where it is. And so when I work hard to get my value to where it is, I have an expectation of what I want next to me. And so if I got an expectation of what I want next to me, I'm not tolerating what I don't want next to me. I'll cry. See you later. But I'm not going to stop you from leaving. If you want to leave, I told my wife that through the years. I want my wife with me because she wants to be with me. I don't want to tie my wife down and make her be with me. The minute, the day, the second, and the hour, you feel like I can't take you where you need to go, and you feel like the door is where you need to go, sure, I'm not going to want you to leave, but I'm not going to stop you from leaving because at the end of the day, if I love you enough, I want you to be happy whether you're with me or whether it's to not be with me. Because that's, I don't want somebody to be with me and make me happy and they miserable in the process because eventually that's going to come to a boil. And how is it going to explode? I don't know. But an explosion is never good. I don't care how you cook it or slice it. So we got to be vibrating on the right frequency. And then because I know I'm going to grow differently, I'm going to be different in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, I keep using that tomato plant. I need to know that between you and I, we got something solid in the ground that's going to withstand the storms that's going to come our way so that as we grow, we intertwine and grow together so that when I'm different 10 years from now, you different too. But it's a vibration that we have that helps us work together. So I'm not really into the whole, you got an agenda, I got an agenda. And I'm with you, D, the finances and stuff like that. If we determine that you are terrible at the finances and that's what I need to handle, then that's what I need to handle. But I also expect to be with somebody who's intelligent. And intelligent doesn't mean I know how to do everything. It's how quickly you can process information. So you might meet me and you might be really bad with money, but you got to be able to recognize that you're bad with money and do what you got to do to learn how to be better with money.
Thank you. And that was what I used to try to tell her. She waited right until the relationship was technically over. And then she told me, she like, oh, here's my check or whatever. I want you to handle X, Y, and Z. And I was like, the damage is done now, baby. I've been told you did some months ago. I got it. But you wanted to do things your way. You wanted to listen to your mama or whatever, and your mama ain't even have all her ducks.
Yeah, but you know how to manage $100.
I heard something in the background. But anyway, long story short, yeah, this is what it was, man. Like, you taking advice from people who don't even have their own stuff in order. And look where it got you.
Right. Exactly. You're supposed to be aspiring. If you got people around you, you're supposed to have, why is everybody, look, it's okay if you have somebody around you that looks up to you. But you can't have everybody around you can't be people that look up to you. And then you get to a point where you don't know what you're doing. Man, you got to have somebody around you that you aspire to take something from, or somebody that's got it better going on than you do. You know, you got to have a healthy mix. Yeah, you got to have a mindset of, I need to bring somebody with me, but you also have to have a mindset of, you know, I want to be that. I got a friend who's in Medicare. You know, this cat makes about $95,000 a month. You know, among other things, he's around me and I take things from him and I learn and I implement. You got to have a healthy balance there, because there's going to be times for you to be a leader and there's going to be times for you to be a follower. And a lot of times you have ladies out here, not all ladies, let me go ahead and give that disclaimer, but there are some ladies, they already feel like they don't need a man. They a boss. They a boss. I'm going to do what I want to do. This is the way it's going to be done.
Hold on, Lee. To add to that statement, on the other end, there's some of them that feel like you're trying to be their dad instead of trying to be their man. That was the issue that I had. Now I'm just like, I'm not trying to be your father, man. I'm trying to tell you some stuff that you should have learned when you was a child. And your mama, I ain't gonna say your parents, because you know, daddy issues, daddy won't present. But I'm trying to teach you some stuff that your mama should have taught you growing up, and she did. And now we're here.
Exactly. And it's just like, can you take honest criticism? If every time I try to tell you something, I tell it to you real soft and gentle, you can't receive it. I try to tell you medium, you can't receive it. I try to tell you hard, you can't receive it. And then when I try to tell you hard, you say, well, you talking to me too rough, but you weren't listening to me when I was talking to you real soft. You wasn't listening to me when I was talking to you real gentle. Because one of the characteristics that you need to have as a follower is you got to be able to listen, and you got to be able to implement what you're listening to, especially if it's something you have no clue about and it's something that I'm experienced about and I'm trying to give you game. You got to be able to take that information and you got to be able to process it. Okay. And it's the same thing for me.
Speaking of information, I don't mean to cut you off. Ron's sister was making a statement. She said maybe it was the way that I was relaying the message. I said it wasn't. And I'll make it as clear as this. So the situation was, from my point of view, you know, for those who don't know, I have sickle cell. So there's some days where it ain't that I don't want to get up. It's hard to get up and go make this money. So at the time, you know, years ago, I'm like, I wasn't working the job I was working now. You know, I was literally legally hustling. That's what I call it. I was serving, but I still made money though. But I said it to say this. So I used to tell them, I said, you do a lot of complaining and you shouldn't have to. And I'm not negating the way that you feel, but it's as simple as this though. I said, look around you and look at your coworker. Look at my coworker. You got some of them that's sharing a vehicle. Some of them don't have a vehicle. Some of them don't even have their own place to stay. They sleeping on other people's couches and whatever. I said, it's like we live in the blue collar dream right now. We both have vehicles that's in our own name. We both had jobs. We both make decent income and all this stuff. And you always complaining about something. So my thing is, I said, why don't we role reverse? Why don't I pay your bills and you pay mine? You walk in my shoes. She didn't want to do it. So I said, outside of her not wanting to do it, yes, ungrateful. There was times that I would go out of my way and I would pay some of her bills off that she ain't got to pay no more. So when I would go pay her bills off, I would go to the mall and I go buy me a pair of shoes, a CD or something, a video game or whatever. And she'd be like, damn, I wanted to go to the mall too. I'm like, what? Like, I just paid all your bills off. And I'm not talking about recurring bills. I'm talking about stuff that you ain't got to worry about no more. Ungrateful. Yes, Takara, ungrateful. Nah, she ain't reciprocate. She ain't reciprocate. All right, hold on. I'm going to be honest. She tried to reciprocate, but here comes the issue with money management again. All right, so she presented to me one day. She said something about, oh, she wanted to have a date night. Cool, I'm with it. But she was like, I paid all my bills up, like you said, or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna go catch a movie and go X, Y, Z. I said, it's cool. Do you have enough money put to the side to last you to your next paycheck? You got 2 weeks, you got to make it through. I said, something may happen to your car. You got enough money to put gas in? What if you need a new tire or change or something? And she was just like, nah, and then she would get mad about it. And I said, see, this is what I'm talking about. When you fall short, that means that I got to go back in there and I got to lift you up again. I'm trying to make it to where you are self-sufficient. You ain't got to worry about me no more. You got all your stuff, you got all your ducks in a row. And now they're not in a row. I'm like, once again, you still not following the full directions that I'm trying to, the path that I'm trying to put you on. That was the issue. So ultimately she would say that I was too focused on business. I wasn't fun anymore. But my thing is, we can't have fun whenever you're not handling your business. I'm looking for, if I fall, can I depend on you? That's what I'm looking for. Can I depend on you?
And I mean, to be honest with that one, I mean, I could take it back to where, just with finances alone, I mean, yeah, I was bad with finances. I can tell that right now. And she used to handle them, but even with getting with that, my old pastor used to tell us that, look, you put money aside for your bills, y'all come together, y'all put y'all money in together in the pot because y'all know what y'all got to pay for bills. Y'all put y'all money together, pay them bills together, then whatever's left, y'all separate whatever. But and now also he would say, make sure, first off, you got some money aside for you for rainy days. Because if you don't have money aside for rainy days, when the rainy days come, you're gonna have an issue. And so that's like you said, if I go down, can you pick me back up? If I'm in a situation right now, and so I'm looking for, can you help me to come out of that situation? If you can't help me to come out of that situation, then we have a problem. So when it comes down to it, yeah, we have to make sure. And that's one thing for us as men. People say, well, we can always go out for a date and everything like that, and we don't have to pay no bills. But in the back of my mind, while I'm out trying to have fun with you on this date, I'm still worried about how this bill gonna get paid. And if this bill ain't gonna get paid, then we got a problem. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we need to come together, make sure that we have the bills paid together. And then after that, then we can put money aside for a rainy day. After that rainy day is over, then whatever else is left in the pot, then hey, let's go out, let's go have fun. But if ain't nothing left in the pot, then hey, we might need to just wait till next week to when we can have some money left over after everything is paid. How are we dealing with that money finance? Because in order to be happy, you got to be happy in the home first. And if that home ain't covered, I ain't happy. I'm not happy, and it's hard for me to go out and have fun when I know that stuff ain't good in the house. Because number one, some women gonna be looking at you on why you didn't pay, why the bills ain't paid. Not all, but some are gonna be looking at you, now you in a hard place trying to say, I thought we had it together. So we got to come together as a team. That's where, like you said, we moving together, we moving forward. We done wrote down the vision, we made the vision plain, and this is where we gonna follow that vision. That's just, and we can't tarry from that vision. If we tarry from that vision, then again, goes back to what I said before, show me a better vision. And hey, you show me a better vision that's gonna get us to where we need to be. I'll rock along with you. Let's go. Let's do it. I'll put my vision to the backside. We will take your vision to the front. Let's do it. But it's got to be something that's gonna push us forward. It's got to be something that's gonna keep us afloat. If we not afloat, then we sinking. And if we sinking, most of the time you looking at me like, why we sinking?
You know what? This is obviously. With Buckeye Financial, not trying to put a plug here, but I deal with couples all the time that deal with financial issues and everything like that. And I never forget I was working for this firm one time, and this rich white man, he told me, live by the percentages. He said, you got to have something that is a movable scale. So no matter how much you grow, that you must have in place so that money is allocated in the correct way. Now, if you work in a job and everything like that, they're going to take out taxes and stuff like that. That's already there. But if I can share this, man, once the taxes, the first thing that I think people negate to do is they negate to pay themselves first. So you got to have a percentage where you come out, and whether it's 10%, 15%, or whatever the case may be, I'm talking about before you pay any bills, you got to pay yourself. That's something that you got to do, even if it's tough, it's hard. Because let's just say use a round number, you got like $1,000. You got $1,000 and your bills come up to $1,000. Well, a lot of people make the mistake and say, man, I got to pay $1,000 in my bill, so I'm broke just as soon as I get it. But you got to fight against that, because the most important person is you. And what you got to do is, look, if let's just say, for an example, out of $1,000, you say, I'm going to pay myself 10%, $100. Well, you got to look at it like you just got a $900 check and you short. What can you do next time to not be short? That's the mentality and the discipline that you got to have with that money. And then once you pay yourself and everything, then pay your bills and your responsibilities or whatever the case may be. You also need to try to make sure that you got some money that you're putting away for business or investments. You might not have an idea of what kind of business you want to run or whatever the case may be, but while you're exploring and understanding, we live in an information age. So if you don't know something, it's because you don't want to know. So while you're trying to explore and understand what it is you're trying to do, you need to go ahead and you need to build and sit on a nest egg, at least sit on a nest egg for something. And then you get tired of being in a rat race after a while. I mean, look, man, it's like 40 years to get 40% of what you couldn't survive on 100% on. You know, you're going to eventually get tired. Or you might get into a situation where something happened to you from a health standpoint and it forces you out of work. So you got to be thinking about tomorrow in that regard like that too, because it might be one of those types of things where you may not be able, you may want to work. You may say, I'm going to work until I'm 65, but you're 55 and you got gout in your foot real bad. You can't go back to work. What were you doing all the way up to that time? That's why it's so important to pay yourself. If you pay yourself first and be disciplined about that, then that gives you an opportunity to be able to, if you want to go blow your money, you want to go buy video games, you want to go buy purses, hats, shoes, whatever it is that you want to go and buy, do it within the confines of what you're paying yourself on. Then when you run out of money, then you can look at yourself in the mirror and you can figure out what's going on with that. But you got to have a discipline and you got to be able to allocate those dollars. If you're not careful and you're aimless, when you get paid, soon as the largest debt collecting company that calls you, going to get your money. And then that's no way to live. And you're trying to, and a job, it's important to have a job if you're not running a business. But your goal, especially in the brown community, shouldn't be, I'm going to work a job forever. You better be trying to figure out your talent and your abilities and how you can go ahead and you can do that. Because if you wake up every day doing something that you're passionate and that you love, it's never going to feel like work. Like what I do, I work 16, 20 hours a day, and I'm ready to do it again tomorrow. Because you know why? It's because I have a passion about exactly what I'm doing. But there have been times I worked a job, and man, I couldn't wait for the weekend to get here, and I loathed when Sunday night was here. So we got to start doing those types of things, man, and we got to start paying ourselves first. We got to pay our bills, our utilities, responsibilities, things of that nature. And then we also got to put a little bit of money away. I mean, even for my family, we got an entertainment fund. So if we want to go and do something, well, let's look at the entertainment fund. If it ain't nothing in there, well, it ain't going to be no entertainment. Where's your discipline? You got to have that discipline to be able to just say, hey, look, this is exactly what we're going to follow. Can we agree to this? Yes. Okay. Then we're going to follow this. No hanky-panky. This is exactly what we're going to do. And if we want to, and if we don't like the money that we making, then we need to figure out how we can make more money. And then that's the evolution. And eventually, like King said, ultimately, the man belongs at home. But we got to work to get back home. So we got to put mechanisms in place so our money is starting to work for us so we don't have to go home. I remember when I met, no, true story. When I first met my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, right? When I first met her, my wife was in college and she was making about $15,000 a month on real estate. And so that was very new for me. I didn't even know that. So, but you got to be putting yourself in a position, and she never worked for her money. She just went to class, she came home, she chilled. That was her style. And then it's just, you got to ask yourself, whether you're a man or a woman, you got to ask yourself ultimately, where in the hell do I want to be? And then you got to start working your way from the end to the beginning. And then once you work your way from the end to the beginning, you already have where you're trying to go burned into your image. Then you got to make sure that you stand strict to the details. Like you said, D, you essentially said you want to go out there and play, but you ain't getting your work done, right? You said something earlier about that. You know, you want to go out there and spend money, stuff like that. Mama used to tell us, hey, you cannot go outside and play basketball, son, until you finish your homework. So it's a lesson that whether you were a single parent growing up in a single parent home or a two-parent home, it's something that if your parents cared anything about you, they told you. They didn't let you go outside and you were making F's. You know, no parent in their right mind did that. So we got to start doing that. And that's that's one of the things that's hurting us. That's one of the things, the main reasons that we have divorces right now. It has a lot to do with finances. And it's because we can't get on the same page and we can't have a similar value system. And we never sit there and talk about where we want to go. If the conversation needs to be real, the conversation needs to be real poignant about where we're trying to go. Like one of the first conversations, ultimately, you know, do you see yourself getting married? No, I don't really see myself. All right, well, look at the time. I got to go. And it ain't that I'm trying to marry you today, but it's just like, are we sitting here playing around? Because we need to be intentional about dating. When we out there dating a girl or whatever the case may be, she fine, sexy, got it going on, and she an airhead. I mean, what are you doing? Make it clear. She might be thinking that you want to, you know, take it there. Just be real. Be honest. She need to be real. You need to be real about where y'all trying to go and what y'all trying to do. And then if you're the visionary, and most men should be visionary, they should know themselves well enough to have a vision. But if he's the visionary or whatever the case may be, and she ain't buying into your vision, you know, drop her off at the next stop, because it's going to do her a disservice and it's going to do you a disservice too. Because it's going to get you caught up when she over there spending money on something you don't have, you know, ain't good. She got $250 and she go and buy $175 worth of hair and get her hair done, and she look cute for her friends, and then that was bill money. Come on now. Like, what are we valuing here? I'm going to get off my soapbox.
All right. So a question was presented. She said, what's the mindset of your friend that makes the $95,000 a month? Yes, great question. Okay, so he has a very. You ever been to Krispy Kreme donuts? You know how when that light come on in the window? Boy, there you go. And you know what? Everything coming through there, you know what it's going to taste like. It's consistent. That's the way it's going to be. And so, like, you know, my mindset is I know exactly what I got to do, and I ultimately know where I want to be. The first thing that he said to me is you got to know where you're trying to go, and don't let circumstances dictate where you're trying to go. Forget circumstances. Stop thinking, man, if it ain't one thing, it's another. Stop having that defeated mindset. Have the mindset of, okay, where do I want to go? I want to make $100,000. Yeah, I don't know nobody that makes $100,000. Stop that. Have the mindset, look, I want to make $100,000 a month. Plain and simple, pure point blank. And I don't want to have to do much to get it. So you got to ask yourself from there, okay, well, what are the steps that it takes to get that? And then don't take no for an answer. And then find somebody in the field that you're trying to do something with and ask them questions. A lot of people love to give wisdom about what they know. It make them feel good, especially a man that done made it. He feel like a sense of accomplishment. Yeah, I'll sit down and tell you how and you listen to them and you take notes, and then you don't take no for an answer. And then what you do then you get it down to, this is what I need to do for the next 10 years.
I mean, this is what I need to be in the next 10 years. This is what I got to do in 5 years. This is what I got to do in 1. Okay, and I got it broken down to this is what I needed to be doing on a day-to-day basis, and take no for an answer and don't let nobody else steer you away from that. When you get a call from this person or somebody wants you to go over here and do this, that, and the other, no, I ain't got time for that because I'm trying to work smart for the next blank period of time. And then when I get to where I'm going to get to, then I'm going to enjoy the rest of my life. That's how when you're 30 years old and you focused on what you're supposed to do, by the time you're 40 years old and you at the peak of your life and you got money in the bank, you traveling around the world in the 7 seas and you're not taking little weekend vacations. Like my friend Brian, that's his name, Brian. Brian went on an African excursion for 2 months. When is the last time you've been able to take 2 months off without worrying about all of the bills that's going to fall? So these are the types of things that you need to have. The mindset needs to be, I already know what the big picture is. What do I need to do on a day-to-day basis? And when you put your head down at night, did you do what you were supposed to do? And if the answer is no, are you critical of yourself? And that's the mindset that you got to have.
Okay, then. So she was asking, does he have passive income?
Can y'all hear us?
Yeah, that 95 is passive.
Yeah,
and it's in the Medicare. It's in the Medicare field.
Can you hear us, D?
Barely, we barely hear
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Oh, okay. Y'all in the background. Okay, sorry.
Check 1, 2. Okay, we'll go with that. Is that a little bit better? You got better level?
Awesome.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Using something different today. You can get the king seat. Oh, well, the computer on that side. So.
Well, it don't matter.
Okay. You put in my hoodie tie.
All right, we finally made it to the Talk Studio. I heard everything that's been said though, and great, some good stuff. Really, some good stuff that's been put out. Let me. I'm gonna put everybody on game real quick, right? It's for men and women. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, for some reason, right, when we are looking at and dealing with relationships or going to get into an actual relationship, we're always talking about what it is that we want. But nobody is literally looking at what it is that they actually need. You know, even in the concept of being in a relationship and companionship, things of that particular nature, right? You need to focus on what your partner needs before you focus on what it is that they actually want. As simple as that. And I'm not talking about what they what they need solely based off of what you feel they need.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about what it is that they are expressing from you that they actually need. You will save yourself a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of heartache if you just solely focus on what it is that they need. And I'm going to say surprise them with what it is that they actually want. Because consistency is a mug. If you're consistently providing me with what it is that I need, and then out of the blue, you provide me with something that I actually want, who wouldn't be happy? Who wouldn't? And that's on That's on both spectrums. That is on both spectrums. You know, because the last thing you want is to feel as though I'm doing all this right here, right? Everything that you might be doing might be good. You give them everything it is that you want. And then you look up one day, that individual is still not satisfied because you neglected what it was that they actually needed.
Mm-hmm. Love language.
It's literally what it boils down to. And don't overthink it. If I sit back and say, I need a glass of water 4 times a day, that's what I need. All right. There's no need for you. I'm gonna give him a glass of water every 2 hours. No, that's not what I said I needed. It's not what I said I needed. I said I needed 4 glasses of water a day to sustain. You might be feeling like you're doing good, because instead of giving me 4, you give me 12. It's not what I asked for. Literally. If I ask for doggone fried chicken tonight, don't overthink it, man. Fried chicken is too easy. I mean, I'm giving very, very simple examples, but I mean, literally, how hard is it? For me, that is the easiest thing. The hardest part is the communication piece, because we're so caught up on not needing anything or not needing anyone that a lot of times we don't even realize what it is that we actually need. And that's detrimental, especially going into a relationship, a companionship, a marriage, whatever. It's detrimental. If you don't know what it is that you need, how can I provide it to you? I sit back and I watch doggone some of these. I want this in a woman, and they got a whole list of what it is that they doggone want. Well, I want this in a man. They got a whole list of what it is that they want in a doggone man. And I just be sitting back and ask myself, out of that list, how is that going to provide you what you need? How is that man being doggone 6'5" going to provide you what you need? How is that woman having that gigantic, that big old round brown? Well, I don't know. Some fellas might say I know how. Well, how is going to provide you what you need? Get your mind out the gutter.
Yeah, you took it there, but all right, go ahead.
I ain't heard that.
I'm just saying, I already know what's coming. But look at your list of expectations, right? And then think about what it is that you need and ask yourself, literally, is this list of expectation going to get me what it is that I need? Because we all got.
What about the 80-20? What about what do you think about the 80-20, King?
The 80-20.
Before you answer, let me make sure what do you think about coming across somebody that has 80% of what you need and 20% of what you don't need?
I put it to you like this. You already know my mindset is different when it comes to these type things, right? And I'm trying not to take it there because I'm not ready to take it there.
Come on, dog. Come on. I'm having a D moment. I'm having a D moment, man. Let me have my D moment.
Right.
So, I mean, 80% for me is a passing grade. It really is. You know what I'm saying? The thing about it is, my parents didn't allow me to have C's and stuff like that. It had to be B's and better. So for some, 80% might be what they need in order to doggone get to the next level. But for me, I shoot for valedictorian.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with looking at the potential of a person. We talked about that before. You know, potential is a good thing. I believe in it. Because for me, it's something completely different for you to stand by my side when I'm in the I'm in the milk trying to churn it to butter, and you right there beside me, helping me. We come out of this thing together. I got a completely different respect for you. But in doing that, we got to be on the same page. Because if we ain't churning the butter in the same direction, we defeat the purpose. We'll never get that milk to do what it needs to be done in order to turn that thing to butter so we can slide up out of that thing. But the question is, who are you going to listen to? Who are you going to listen to? If I say go do a thing, right? And in the midst of me saying to go do a thing, you don't see how you'll actually be able to do it. Let's just say financial, all right? Let's just say financial. You need to do something that requires money. And I tell you, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. But you know, this bill is due. You know, that bill is due. And every other bill is due. And you're trying to figure out, how can I go do this when we got all these bills? Are you going to listen to what it is that I'm asking you to go ahead and do? Or are you going to focus on yourself and do what you think is right for the household? This is what I mean when I talk about being able to follow me, even when you don't fully understand. Because although you might not understand where the money is at, how we going to pay for this bill, that bill, this bill, right? If I'm telling you go ahead and do it, that means I already made up in my mind that I'm going to go out here and I'm going to do what needs to be doggone done to ensure that it's covered. Now, you might be thinking that, oh, I did a good thing. I'm looking out for my significant other. But in essence, I'm not going to say you wasted your time or anything of that particular nature. You missed the point. You missed the point. As simple as that.
So are you trying to say that women don't have faith? Are you trying to say that a lot of women don't have faith?
No, I'm not going to say that they don't have faith. What I'm saying is that they get caught up in the emotions of a thing, right? And their emotions will lead them to believe that what they're doing is the right thing, when in essence,
you're doing a few things. You're causing strife, right? And in all honesty, you're making things a little bit more difficult than what it actually needs to be. Yeah, it might have helped me in that particular moment, right? But most times, and correct me if I'm wrong, man, on the panel, most times we're thinking about not what's right in front of us right now. I got my eye on it, but I'm still looking down the line.
Chestnut chuckles.
This little $150 that you about to use, right? Yes, it can go to the light bill over here, right? But this $150 down the line might make me 10,000.
Right.
Down the line. I have no issue, right? Go ahead and take that 150. I'll go out here and doggone cut some grass, shovel some snow. I sit at the corner and doggone wipe people windshields off until I made that 150 back. What I'm saying is trust it. That is a necessity. We need you to trust what it is that we asking you to doggone do. And if you don't understand it, simply ask why. The same way that there are times that we as men need to set our pride and stuff to the side so that we can hear what it is that you're saying. When I say hear what it is that you're saying, I'm saying hear the heart of the matter. Hear the heart of the matter. But on the flip side, there are times that we need you to put your emotions to the side so you can hear our heart of the matter. Because I'm a firm believer in this. Communication, 3 basic things. You have listening, being able to intelligently listen to what it is that we are saying to each other and use the logic in our minds to comprehend what's being said. The next part, which most times is the hardest part, one of the hardest parts, is being able to hear, not just with these ears right here, right? But hear with this. I need you to know, you need me to know where the heart of the matter is coming from. What am I saying from my heart? And if you can get those 2 things together, then the last part is going to be easy. Being able to respond. And I'm not talking about what comes out of your mouth, because we all know actions speak louder than words. You sit back and tell me, or I can sit back and tell you exactly what it is that you want to hear. But a week go along, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month go along, and my actions is not reciprocating what it is that I doggone said, what I said is now meaningless. Now, granted, it's understood. Some stuff that's asked or whatnot, it's going to take a little bit of time to get it together. A little bit of time, but at the very least, you should be able to see me working on it, or I should be able to see you working on it. If you can get those 2 things together, hearing with logic, with your mind, and hearing with your doggone heart, if you can get through those 2 pieces, the response should be easy, especially if we love each other, if we respect each other the way we say we do. But most times, yeah, hearing with that logic is easy because we hearing so that we can doggone respond to what's actually being said. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I got a response, and you're gonna hear what it is that I'm talking about. I put up a post, you know what I'm saying, a while ago, that sometimes we need we need to hear in order to get the response that we're looking for. And what I mean by that is you don't always have to try and get your point across to get the response that you're looking for. You just don't. If I put enough time and effort into ensuring that what I'm listening to and what I'm hearing from you, and I respond the way you need to respond, if you love me and respect me the way you say you do, it's going to be reciprocated. But the issue that we're having, ladies, the issue that we're having is the understanding that we have emotions as well. We have feelings as well. And our feelings are just as valid as yours. They're just as valid. And quite frankly, that is part of the reason why we're in a cold war that we're in right now. If I had to pinpoint one thing, it would be that right there. I can sit back and I can break down the systematics and all and what so-called man has done, how slavery or whatnot has gotten us to the point or whatnot. But at this stage that we are at right now, it's that right there. It's that right there. Our emotions, how we feel, is just as valid as how you feel. Mm-hmm. You know how you feel, right? When you feel like you're not being heard. When you feel like your emotions is meaningless. It doesn't matter. He don't care. Now, I want y'all to put yourselves in our shoes. In our shoes, right? Just for a moment. And I want you to tell me how you would feel if you're looked at as you're not supposed to have those emotions that you got. But I accept that you do have emotions. But your emotions don't compare to what I feel. How would you feel? Go ahead, Op.
I have an example, and this is going to lead back towards the initial discussion topic. Now, in the beginning of my marriage, I had my own personal issues that I needed to deal with as far as development. One of those issues was a decision that I made to do something with one of my relatives. And a lot of things happened outside of that that would have only affected me and my credit. Didn't take from the house, but because that happened, my wife took an issue with that particular family member. Now, fast forward to now, she doesn't want that family member at the house. The show we did yesterday, I was planning on having him come up to shoot. She didn't even want the kids to be watched by my mother in the house, in a room where they have everything that they need. And that bothered me because, like what King was just saying, that is the perfect example of your feeling, your opinion being put superior to mine. Well, mine didn't matter because you feel some type of way about this relative, that you can't even allow for that their children to be in the house. You don't have to watch them. Somebody else is watching them in another room in the house. They have their devices to do their homework and everything else. But because you feel some type of way about this particular cousin, you don't even want the kids in the house being watched by somebody else. And I'm just supposed to accept that because that's just how you feel. Now imagine you being in that position, ladies. Whereas your man says, nah, I don't want you. I don't like that family. I don't like your sister. I don't like your cousin. I don't like this. I don't want them in the house. You can't bring them over, nothing. Like, I don't care how you feel. Because I don't like them, you can't do this. Where's the union in that? And this came, here's another part about that. That decision that I made that was such a problem, I actually went through counseling. And that came up. And the whole counseling session was all on me. I felt attacked because it was like, oh, you made this decision. This is that. Fix it, fix it, fix it. Didn't consider, I already thought about that. I already felt this way about this. I'm already working on this, but y'all not thinking about that. Y'all just want me to fix the issue. I took all of 3 years to get that resolved because I had to deal with an outside business in regards to that. I fixed that issue. Yeah, I still have to deal with that past issue with that individual because she still feels a certain type of way about that person. Where's the fairness in that to where you have to fix this issue, but once you fix it, I still don't like this person and I still don't want them around. I'm held accountable to straighten up a bad decision I made, but when I fix that, because you felt some type of way then, you're going to carry that over beyond me fixing that. Think about it. A lot of the decisions that women tend to want to have made are geared towards their feelings, opinions, their thoughts. And a lot of their arguments are based upon your opinions and feelings. Yours alone, not considering everyone outside of you that it affects. But I digress.
Lopsided sacrifice.
Indeed.
So we talk about compromise, right? We find it easy to compromise time. It's easy to compromise decisions that really don't affect us, or decisions that we don't really care about. It don't matter to us. But when the two of y'all are passionate about something, the two of y'all are passionate about something, right? Then where it comes to compromise. Are we gonna simply be so hell-bent on proving our point, or standing our ground, that we'll let this thing waste away because we wasn't willing to compromise? And quite frankly, ladies, right, when it comes down to our emotions, we've been compromising our entire life. Our entire life. You think I'm joking, right? If you think I'm joking, when your son break down crying, what do you tell him to do? Do you tell him to man up?
Stop crying.
If your significant other right now came and cried on your shoulder, your man right now came and cried on your shoulder, and it ain't had nothing to do with a funeral, a family member being hurt, he just got so much stuff pent up in him right now that he just needs to shed a few tears. how would you view him?
And can't even tell you why he cried.
How would you view him? Would you have the same respect for him after that situation is over that you had for him before it actually happened? If all hell broke loose right now, and he had a minimum breakdown before he pulled himself together and you saw it, would you still follow him?
I think you'd be nice with that word, compromise. It's actually a sacrifice. He's being nice to you because a compromise, you're making an agreement which both sides concede to. Sacrifice, you're giving up something, especially to do something else or help someone. And men have been doing nothing but sacrificing after sacrifice after sacrifice for a woman or somebody else's benefit, when it should at least be a compromise. Why can't we be on common grounds? Why is it always one-sided? Because that's the story that I just told. There's a whole lot, because I'm gonna expose everything that I've done in the beginning of my marriage. Granted, I appreciate having my wife. I love my wife. She's done a whole lot. I don't want that story to make her feel or people to think that she's terrible, but that's just an example of the stuff that men have to go through. Because my wife does a lot in the house. And when you hear my story later, you'll see why. That active, but that passive, that present, those fathers, the preferred active father. And then those ones that were absent, I was here. Bills were paid, nothing taken from the house. But because of a lower understanding, it was like, okay, bills are paid, everyone's safe, all this to take care of, they're fed, everybody's good. All right, I'm gonna go do me, everybody sleep. That wasn't a good thing. And there's a lot to that, but I'll save that for another day.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead, because we're at the 2 hour mark now. We're at the 2 hour mark now. You know, real talk, man, I can talk about this particular subject along with other subjects for a very, very long time. You know, I wanted to be able to slide the man codes back up in here today. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I really feel some type of way about this, because the post that I saw on your Facebook, I saw it literally right before we came up here. And the fact that something that simple could go viral, lets you know that it is seriously an issue. You know, like we always say, we're gonna hold our men accountable. We're gonna do that. But we need y'all to do the exact same thing on the other end. Because quite frankly, we all tired. And I'm not trying to pass these weapons of cold warfare to my kids. If I can put an end to it before they get into their relationships and they can grow from there, we have a golden opportunity with our generation. a golden opportunity to be able to change the narrative on so many things as in reference to our relationship between men and women. And we need to take advantage of it. We need to take advantage of it. We're going to do our part. I assure you that. I assure you, you'll be amazed, right, ladies, how many men either come and hit me up about what it is that we be talking about via Facebook, or that literally stop me to talk about what it is that we're talking about right here. When I say we ready, I literally mean we are ready. I think everybody on this panel at some period point in time, they got a call from a friend or something of that nature saying, please put me on.
Yep.
Please put me on. When I say that we are ready to call this truce, we are ready to literally hold ourselves accountable, address the issues within ourselves so that we can become better men. I ain't gonna say better men. I'm gonna say the men that y'all need. Not that you won't, but the men that y'all need. Because we're not gonna sit up here and tell you what it is that you want to hear. We're gonna tell you what you need to hear. I'm gonna leave it right there because everybody on this panel know how I feel about them unstable men that's out here. That's what I'm gonna start calling them, unstable men. Like baby boy, unstable, unstable creep. Them unstable men out here that's out here pimping y'all emotions for what's between your legs and what's in your pocket. That's literally what they doing. They are pimping y'all emotions for what's in between your legs and what's in your doggone pockets. And trust and believe, as we hold everyone accountable, we coming for them. We are. But I'm gonna get off that. I'm gonna get off that. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go ahead until our final thoughts. Let's go, Trev.
Well, final thoughts. Let us, as we depart from this one, remember, we have to all, we as a family, or we as a couple, or we as anything, have to first agree to first go down the same road or path to where we need to get to. Let us be focused on that. That way, when it comes down to it, we can realize that no matter what, even if my family or your family don't agree on what we got going on, the one thing that they can say is, we got it going on. Because they can't find no fault in what we doing, because there's a unity, there's a stable connection between the two of us, that we are so bonded in where we want to go as a family unit, that they either have to jump on the bandwagon or jump off, but they're not going to destroy what we have going on together. So in the thought of how is it important? I would love it to be important, but it's not. Because as long as me and you work together, there's nothing else that no one can say. Because again, you're not paying my bills, I ain't worried about it.
Let's go, D.
I'm gonna keep mine short tonight.
You keep yours short every night. Let's go. Let's go.
Every night. Every night.
Speak your piece, black
And
man.
now breaking news.
I ain't about to play with you tonight. But basically, it has something that Lee said earlier. The most important thing is how y'all feel about each other. It's not important. It shouldn't be important on how everybody else perceives your relationship, supported or anything of that sort. Just keep God first and try to make sure that y'all keep each other's needs met. Just that simple. Short and sweet to the point.
All right, let's go, Lee.
Man, love is a house, man. And we have to, before we walk through the doors, all right now, before we walk through the doors, we have to check ourselves and be conscious of how we intercede with one another, taking into consideration what kind of dialect as well as love language the other person speaks. We have to be fluent in the manner in which our partner speaks, because ultimately at the end of the day, we're in a result-oriented business. You're trying to get the result that you want as a man, you have to check your ego at the door. It is your kryptonite. And as women, before you walk through the door, you have to check your emotions at the door, because it is your kryptonite. And we need to start working together, because from a male point of view, there is nothing more beautiful on the face of this earth than a woman, I swear. And we want to love and we want to appreciate you. We are willing to make these changes that we need to make, but we are doing you a disservice if we tell you what you want to hear. We need to tell you what you need to hear, and we need to make sure that on both ends that we are making sure that we are serving one another in the need category, and make sure that we're on the same page about how we're moving forward. And that's where I'm going to draw the line on that today.
All right, so I'm gonna revisit the question because I don't shift, I often add. And the question was, if I'm correct, how important is it for your significant other to get along with your family, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm gonna stick to yes, it's highly important. And here's why I say that. You are an extension of me. How my family feels or what they do, it doesn't matter. But you're going to get along with my family. You're going to give them respect. But there's an opposite side to that. Because I'm accountable for you. We're one. You're going to get along with people. You don't have to like them. If they don't get along with you, I'll handle that. Because my wife is going to be getting along with you. I expect you to get along with my wife. Whether you like her or you don't, you're going to give me that respect because she's going to give you that respect. You step out of line, I'm going to check you. I don't care who you are. You don't have to like them, but you're going to respect them enough to get along with them. There's a lot to that. But the reason why I say that is because to say that she shouldn't or it's not important speaks to a lot of what I believe in. Everybody deserves respect. Whether they respect the fact that you respected them or not, you can always remove yourself from the situation. But for your well-being, because you have to answer for what you do. So get along with folk. If they want to be irate and crazy, you're going to have to be around them, but give them their due respect. Here's one thing that I wanted to talk about yesterday. Respect is not earned, it's lost. What a lot of people misrepresent is they saying respect is earned. Camaraderie is earned. Friendships is earned. Bonds are earned. Relationship is earned. Respect should be given. That's respecting a person for being a man, a woman. You don't earn that. That's your God-given right to have. You give that. It's your duty to respect. Somebody does something crazy, they may lose that in that aspect. Not all of the respect, but you'll be distant. You'll still get that respect, but matter of fact, respect, yeah, it may be lost for some people, but it should be constant. Always give people their respect, even if it means respecting them enough to distance yourself from them so that they can get themselves together. But I'm gonna stop there because there'll be plenty to say later on another day.
My apologies. I got me my phone to go off in the middle of you talking, man. My apologies to everyone, really. My final thoughts is this, right? It's not always about you. And it's not always about me. You need to understand that even within our relationship, we play a bigger role than just what's in front of us. We do. I was talking about this earlier with my sister. I talked about it last night in the discussion as well. And that literally we all have needs. We all are in need of something. And there's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. But we have to get to the point where we stop making everything about ourselves. Because it's not always about us. It's not always about me. It's not always about you. It's not. And it even loops into what we're talking about right now. What this entire conversation started with in reference to the importance of doggone family. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Mama, it's not always about you. Daddy, it's not always about you. Sister, brother, it's not always about you. Because let's be honest, most times the dislike comes in, right? When either the significant other or the family member feels like you're putting one ahead of the other. Most times that's literally what it is. So one is pulling on you to do something and you don't do it. And instead of them blaming you or saying something to you, they blame the significant other. You know, when the actuality is it has nothing to do with you at all. Either I didn't do it because I didn't have it, or I didn't do it because I didn't have the time, or sometimes I didn't do it just simply because I didn't want to. And I had that right. I had that right. There is a significant difference in being selfish and self-love. Significant. And we need to learn it. We need to learn it. And that's on all ends. On all ends. So, again, thank everybody for taking the time to chill with us over these last 2 hours, over these last 2 days. We will be back at it next Friday. Make sure you go and you like my page on Facebook, KingNaib, KingNaib, as well as hit me up on IG, King, KING.nab, NAIB. Be speaking this week, this Friday, coming up. It'll be at Santiago's Boxing Club, my spot. We're having a men's doggone conference, business conference this Friday. You know, I'll be I get to set it off. I get to set it off. They don't know what they did, people. I'm trying to tell you. They don't know what they did. Right. I get to set it off. So, for all those speaking behind me, good luck. No, I'm just playing. But seriously, you know, seriously. Look, they don't even realize that before I became KingNaib, I was speaker. For real. But it's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? Them jokers, they just know me as Coach Jerome. The dude that coach boxing and all that other stuff. They about to really learn who KingNaib is over this weekend. But if you're in the Colorado Springs area, all men, you know what I'm saying? Ladies, y'all are invited as well. Make sure y'all come down there. The address is 2814 East Pikes Peak Boulevard, Colorado Springs, Colorado, 80909. For those that are not in the Colorado area or whatnot, go to the page. The link and stuff is there or not. To my understanding, it will be streamed live. So if you are not able to actually make it, make sure you pull up the stream. I'm tired, y'all. Make sure you pull up the stream because you're not gonna want to miss it. Just not. And then if you do, make sure you go like the frequency. Go like the frequency because that's where this is about to go to. All right. Yeah, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Y'all take it easy. We out.